Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca. Let's talk about makeup. So today we have a little special guest here, and I am going to be updating my deck of panning project pan, or at least we're gonna try to update it. It's been a couple months since I've updated this project, but listen, life be life and pretty hard over here. So we're doing what we can do. I'm also filming under artificial lighting, which I don't usually love to do just because I'm not a lighting tech. I don't know how to make it look good. You know what I'm saying? So I usually film in front of a window during the day because natural lighting just makes everything simpler. But with her schedule and with the rest of the family schedule lately, it's not working out for me. So going forward, especially now with fall kind of setting in and winter is looming in the background there, this might be the best option going forward if I want to continue to film. So let me know, how does it look? What do you think? Is this doable? The deck of panning project was created by Emily from Emily and Max, who was inspired by a booktuber named Books with Maddi, who used a deck of cards to kind of gamify her to be read pile, and we're just doing the same thing with makeup. There's a game board that goes along with this that Emily updates every month just to keep things fresh and fun, and it is a really, really fun project to participate in. So let's take a look at everything that I have been working on over the last couple of months, and then we will roll in some new products. So first, I have the Hourglass face palette rolled into this because I pulled the Joker and I decided to roll this palette in as my Are You Joking product because it would take such a long time for me to pan this. I already have pan on the bronzer here, but I wanted to hit pan on any other one of the products here, and I didn't actually expect it to go so quickly. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the Good Day beneath the baked blush there. And I actually didn't realize it was going to go so quickly. But I realized the way I've been swirling my brush in here, I kind of go in here and just swirl in the center of all of these and mix it into a really lovely highlighty blush. I'm wearing it today. I really like how it looks on the cheeks, but because I'm dipping my brush in that way, I'm hitting the thinnest part of the product here. I'm not actually hitting the rounded part of the baked products. So it went a lot faster than I thought it would. And I would actually like to continue to keep this product in and see if I can get some matching pan on the other 3 products here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one in. To do that, it took me, I want to say 20 uses, but I am currently at 33 uses. So it's been a little while since I hit that pan. I am going to go ahead and keep it in, see if I can hit that corner pan on the other 3 products that are adjoining that blush, and we'll just see how it goes. So the next one that I rolled in back in July was For the Prompt Discontinued, and for that I rolled in my Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted Shadows. So there's a liquid shimmer on one end and then there's a liquid matte on the other. I really enjoy these. I have several of them. This is probably my favorite of the collection. It is in Request Line for the matte side and Slow Jams for the shimmer side. I rolled that in for 5 uses, and I actually ended up using the matte side 9 times and the metal side 3 times. So 12 uses total. I met my goal and then some. For the Prompt Sentimental, I rolled in my Milani Soft and Sultry eyeshadow palette. Now this was a gift from my husband some years ago. It wasn't really something I reached for often, but it kept escaping my declutters because of the sentimental value. But this last, I rolled it in for 12 uses. I have used it 11 times. But these last 11 uses of this palette have convinced me that this is something that probably needs to leave my collection. There's nothing that this palette does for me that I can't do better, easier, and with more satisfying results with other palettes in my collection. There are a few shades in here that are really very useful shades and they perform well, but I felt like the shimmers are very underwhelming. A couple of these mattes are a little chalky, and I never found myself super satisfied with a look that came from only this palette. The times where I felt like this palette was the most genuinely useful was when it was a companion palette to something else, and I have other things that do the job better. So I think this is one of those palettes that's going to end up getting cut in my next declutter. So technically I have 1 use remaining on this palette, but I'm going to go ahead and draw a card in its place. I will of course get that last use, but I think we're close enough, and honestly I would really like a new product to play with. My next prompt was for something that matched my nails. And at the time, my nails were kind of a milky white. So I decided to roll in this little mini Makeup by Mario lipstick in the shade Erin. This is a very nice, slightly cool nude, which I love. It's very difficult for me to find like a nude that doesn't pull warm on my olive skin tone, and this one does the job. I am wearing it today along with the matching lip liner in smoky pink. The two of those came in a little duo, and I rolled this one in also for 5 uses, and I have used it 12 times. It is unfortunately broken, and so see, it ended up in the cap this time. So it's a little difficult to apply, but I love this lipstick. And enough so I probably will end up buying a full size of it further down the road. The last product I have here to show you was actually a rollover from my June update, I believe. And it was the prompt was, oh, the shame. It was something that I had not yet used. And for that, I rolled in my Illuminati Duochrome eyeliner in the shade Air. I try to swatch it. It's really very pretty. It's this purple to green shift. I don't know if you can see that there. As an eyeliner, I don't know how much of that duochrome is really coming across, just because there's just not a lot of surface area that the product is covering. I did incorporate it into several looks and it worked just fine. This is something that I got in an Ipsy bag. I don't think it's something that I would run out and purchase again. I have yet to try it all over the eye. I might give that a shot, see how it looks all over the lid as more of a kind of cream shadow than as an eyeliner. But as an eyeliner, I don't think duochrome works very well in a pencil liner. That one I rolled in for 12 uses and I used it 12 times. So we are going to go ahead and roll everything out except for my hourglass, and that means I get to draw 4 new cards. I've got my trusty set of Mandalorian face cards here, and I have both of the Jokers here. I'm going to take the black one, which is this little cute Tuscan Raider. Focus. There we go. And I'm going to stick that into the middle of the deck and go ahead and give it a few shuffles. Let's see if I can shuffle with a baby on my lap. Okay, that should be good. Okay, we're just going to pull from the top here. And the first one is the 5 of Spades, the 7 of Spades, the Jack of Spades. Oh my gosh, you heard me shuffle this deck, I swear. And then the 4 of Hearts. Whew, managed to avoid the Joker. I have pulled the Joker twice this year already. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to jinx myself. Here is the game board. So the first card that I drew was the 5 of Spades, and that was pop culture. Oh, that's interesting. So let me look at the prompt hints, the description of the prompts. Pop culture, a collaboration with an influencer or celebrity. Prompt by Martha. Okay, that's cool. I have actually never gotten that prompt before. So that'll be fun. The next one was the 7 of Spades, which is astrology sign. So any astrology sign, or probably my astrology sign. Okay, so the description for this one is it doesn't have to be in the name. Have fun. Google makeup for whatever your astrology sign is. I'm going to have you guys guess. Just for fun, I want you guys to guess what my astrology sign is and put it in the comments below. And obviously when I come back with the products that I have chosen for this month, I will reveal at that point what my sign is. But yeah, that'll be a fun one too. I've never gotten that one either. So put your guesses as to what my astrology sign is in the comments below, and we'll see how you do. I know we probably have at least 1 or 2 people watching that can clock it a mile away. Okay, the next one that I pulled was the 4 of Hearts. This time last year. What is that? What does that mean? A product that came into your life 1 year ago. Okay, that'll be fun. I could probably look up, like, if I had any makeup purchases in September of last year and pull from that. That would be fun. We'll see. We'll see what I'm able to come up with. Okay, last one was the Jack of Spades. Actually, I think the 4 of Hearts was the last one, but the Jack of Spades, regardless, is something mainstream as opposed to an indie makeup product. So, okay, that should be easy. I actually don't have a ton of indie makeup in my collection. So that gives me a lot to draw from. Okay, I'm gonna go choose my products and I will be back in just a moment. I'm back. I have chosen my products. So for the first one, 5 of spades, and that was pop culture. So it's supposed to be a collab with a celebrity or an influencer. And I chose my ABH Jacket Ina palette. I love this palette. Listen, hot take, I think that the Jacket Ina palette is the best ABH palette of all time. I love this palette. It is just such a good palette, and I don't feel like it got the buzz that it deserved. Usually I take the number of uses off the card that I've drawn, but instead of doing that for this palette, I want to use it a few more times than 5. So I'm going to actually roll this in to use no pan left behind style. So I'm going to go ahead and try to hit every single one of these pans in the looks that I create with this palette over the next month. It might take me longer than a month, but if it does, that is fine as well. I really love this palette and I would love to spend a little bit more time with it. I also drew the Jack of Spades, which was for something mainstream, and for that I am rolling in my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I have this in the shade 3.5. I don't know if that's the right shade for me, to be perfectly honest. It is a little bit light, but the undertone was workable for me, which is kind of what I look for the most, is a workable undertone. I usually have to mix my foundations anyway, so if I need to make it a little lighter or a little deeper, that's not, I don't know, that's not a huge problem for me. But it's a lot more difficult to correct the wrong undertone. If it is too yellow, I find that more difficult to correct to match my cool olive undertone than something that is more on the pink side. Usually I'm shooting for a neutral. The neutrals are the easiest to deal with, and this one was fairly neutral, which is why I chose it. In any case, this is not one of my favorite foundations, but I paid enough money for this foundation that I feel like I should get my money's worth out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this one in for, let's see, the Jack, that's going to be 11 uses. Then for this time last year, I really didn't have a lot to choose from. I really did not do much shopping in September of last year. And so I only had a few things to choose from. And one of those is my Give Me Glow lip liner in the shade Wicked. This is a really nice, cool mauvey. This is a roll-up pencil, but do you see how destroyed it is? That is ADHD. That's what that is, okay? I took out this pencil and I was going to use it, and I realized I didn't have enough, okay? And without thinking, because this is a roll-up, without thinking, my mind was elsewhere. I just reached for a sharpener and I sharpened a roll-up lip liner. Anyway, so the tip of my lip liner is a little crazy. This is a really pretty lip liner. It's one of my favorites that I've gotten from Give Me Glow. It is this really pretty, cool, mauvey color, one of my favorite tones to wear. And I'm going to go ahead and roll this one in. Let's see. That was the 4 of hearts. I'm going to go ahead and roll it in for 5 uses. I don't like to roll things in for less than 5 uses just because I feel like what's really the point, you know? Last, I have a makeup product inspired by my astrology sign. If any of you were guessing what my astrology sign is, I am a Scorpio. I'm really curious if anybody was able to clock that. I don't have any astrology related makeup items, anything that's themed in that way. So I did what the prompt suggested to do, and I went to Google and typed in makeup for Scorpios, and almost every single image that popped up, there was a red lip going on in the look. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll in my first red lip of the season. This is not just a red lip, it is my vampiest red lip, and which I thought was appropriate. This is the MAC Powder Kiss Liquid Lipstick in the shade Make Love to the Camera. Really, really love this lipstick. I actually really enjoy the Powder Kiss liquid lipsticks. I think they're very comfortable. They're very long wearing. It does kind of start to get a little more dry after several hours. Rather than putting a gloss on top, which I think is a little bit iffy with a lipstick this dark, what I like to do is take a red bullet lipstick that has a little bit more emollients in it and just put it in the center just to make it a little bit more comfortable. I don't think I wore any red lips last winter, which is usually when I tend to reach for a red lipstick, is usually in the fall and winter. I don't think I wore one last winter, maybe once or twice. So yeah, anyway, I'm excited to pull this one out and get some use on it. So that is all 4 products that I am rolling in to my deck of panning Project Pan for this coming month. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.